Hey, y'all. Welcome back. All right. Cool. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Hector. How do you pronounce your last name?
Guerrero, papi.
From Oak Cliff and from Tiger Teeth Creative. How we doing, Hector?
Dude, we are chilling in the hood. As y'all can see, I am live switching. Left hand, right hand holding the pipe. I'm just doing God's work, baby.
God's work, baby. God's kids. So, Hector, people don't know about you. People know about me, but who are you? Tell us about you.
Dude, first off, when did we meet?
We met. So I knew of your work because of Luke, right? From the whole Mirror Collective thing. And
it's dead.
Yeah, that business
now
is super dead. So then I remember the whole Afghanistan thing was going down last year, and Do No Evil, which I thought was your company, turns out it's our buddy Isaiah's company. You guys held shirts saying like defend Afghanistan, and you guys were donating that money to an organization. And so I was like, I have to go. So I drove like 30 miles to go see you. And I thought like, oh, Hector's a cool dude. And I thought like talking about this company, how'd you start? And he was just acting like he owned the company. And then I was like, yeah, bought a shirt from him or two. And then just always texted him here and there, hung out a couple times. And now here we are, local businessmen.
Literally, like it's fun. We are very young. We're in our 20s and we are all collectively somewhat in the same business. We're all a little bit better at one thing. And that's why it's so dope that we can rely on each other. It's dope. Like, I have somehow turned into a podcast guy. I press buttons. I don't do anything. I'm learning.
And I think that's the beauty of business. Like, when you're passionate about something and you want to break that 9 to 5 and you want to start something, you really don't know what you're doing until a few months, if not a few years in, right? I think that's pretty impressive how you found out you were the podcast guy, but you didn't know about that immediately. It took you some time to figure that out.
No, so I started my LLC the beginning of January, and I had quit my 9 to 5 after 7 years. It was amazing. Like, I learned a lot. I worked at a really, really big Christian organization. I worked with public schools. I worked with a major budget. I had volunteers. There was, I think, 2 other staff members I worked alongside, and it taught me how to run a business without me even asking for it, which was really cool. And I stepped into it, and I got immediately, for anyone who's always confused and asking questions about it, I immediately got under some sort of leadership. That person was Luke Asper, Reagan Strand, and another guy named Jeff Hampton. I didn't know anything. I didn't know shit.
True.
For real, I had one camera and like a terrible lens. And I was immediately submitted under leadership so I can start learning. And I bartended on the weekends, bro. Like, when everyone was out partying, I was starting the party, dog.
That's what's up.
I was bringing the Mai Tais to the white women at the Hillside Estate.
It's snowing. It's snowing. Oak Cliff represent.
Dude, you love white women so
much. I do
much.
so much. But I think that's really integral, right? You have to just get down in the dirt and figure it out.
I thought you were going to say you got to get a white girl. Like, that is what you have to do.
That doesn't seem like a bad solution either. But
no, while I was building Tiger Teeth, that year of 2021, Tiger Teeth only brought in $23,000. And on the side, I had to bartend. So at the end of the year, sure, I was able to bring in around 50 grand and I was able to pay my bills, but I felt committed. I felt God tell me, start the business. If you're not spiritual, whatever. It's whatever's in here and whatever's in here telling you to do something. I felt led to start a business, and I knew it only brought in $23,000. I could have been really defeating at the end of the year. And I said, nope, I know I'm supposed to do this. Now in this year, because I was able to sow seeds and I was able to build relationships and have a really good community like Adrian, Luke, all of these people, because I was willing to stay committed to the call, this year, I've quadrupled the money in Tiger Teeth, and I was able to leave all the side gigs I've done. And I've never had more time in my life to do whatever I want.
Amen.
So being a freelancer is not for everybody. If you love being in the 9 to 5, do it. There's some people I know that are doctors. They're in the school district, and they feel led to do that. That's amazing. For us specifically, I think we're just pretty good at time management. At least most freelancers, at least we are. I am.
Right.
and I love it. But that's been my journey, bro. I was in the grind last year.
And part of me is about, client relationship and customer service, right? I'm huge on photography and editing and stuff, but I know there's other editors that are way better than me, right? But this right here, talking to people, is what I love doing, right? I love, when I was a barista, that was like my joy. 5 a.m., everyone else is tired. I'm up, I'm ready. Let's have a conversation. Let's learn about your day.
Were you at Redefined?
I was at Redefined Coffee House, brother. You knew. You
somehow picked the best possible community on accident, or you like had a connection, or what?
So back in LA, I worked at this coffee shop called Blue Bottle, really cool. And then there was this guy named Michael Leslie, who's from like this area, and he moved to Pasadena, up to Blue Bottle to pursue his master's. And he told me, hey, I feel like you would love like Fort Worth, Texas, DFW, Grapevine. Check it out. So during the pandemic, I was like, hey, let me just reach out. And remember, I'm in California still, and see if these guys, this coffee shop, 3 states away, for like basically minimum wage, are you guys hiring? And they were like, yeah, we are. I'm like, I can do photos and videos. They're like, cool. When can you be here? I'm like, when do you need me? They were like, in a week. So I was like, sayonara, family and friends. And I moved here. And then I knew as soon as I went into Grapevine, this is the place to be. This is probably like my favorite town, if not the greatest town I've ever lived in terms of the small businesses, the contacts, the clients here, and just people here are just nice. And the coffee's great too. So it's like, it's all just one giant melting pot of why not start a business here? So yeah, Redefine's lit. Shout out Redefine.
Redefined has, anytime I go in there, I see somebody that I know.
Yep.
And I think that's what's, you accidentally got into one of the best places you ever could. And
right.
I think that's an encouragement to, if you feel led to be a freelancer and you want to manage your own time and you want to be in this world of building a business on your own and scaling it alongside other people, you need a community and you need homies. And I could not be at the place I am right now without people, even for my mental health. I ain't trying to kill myself. I ain't trying to leave this planet. I want to do this the best I can to provide for myself and my family. And I have so much, I call it covering. That's such a Christian word, I know.
Please.
But I have so much covering in my life for accountability to care for me. And don't be an idiot. Do not do life alone. What did that look like for you in building a community for yourself?
Man, what did that look like for me? Well, coming here and knowing nobody, right? It was immediately cool. I'm going to download this, which sounds crazy. I talked about this last year. I'll talk about it again. I downloaded every social media app and every dating app, right? Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever. And I said, I'm a photographer looking for other photographer friends, for modeling friends. Let's connect and hang out. On Instagram, I would look up hashtag Fort Worth model, hashtag Fort Worth models, hashtag Dallas model, hashtag Dallas models, right? And see like, okay, this has 9,000 posts and there must be some like recent posts, right? Find like-minded people who are like the same thing as me, coffee and stuff. Hit them up. Hey, I'm just new in town. Would love to hang out. And that's how I built the community, from essentially knowing nobody to knowing everybody. And then also being at Redefine, being able, hey, there's this coffee shop I know. You can come, we connect here. Walk down Main Street, walk down Grapevine, and check out the entire area. And that's how I built a community from nothing, right? Reaching out. There was so many people that just opened my message, didn't say anything. But the few people that did are like still really good homies to this day. And one of them is Luke. And by chance, it's also you as well. So works out. So yeah, definitely find a community. And if you don't have any, just start one. You could start one. And this is the easiest time to start one in this generation. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, literally endless options. Back then, bro, you had to like go out and like actually talk to people in their face. Crazy. I mean, we do that now. But like now you could just DM them, be like, hey, what's up? And there you go. Easy. So I want to talk about your business from my perspective.
Okay.
Cool. So when I saw Tiger Teeth Creative last year, I was so jealous of y'all in a good way. I wasn't like, F these guys. But it was more so like, these guys are killing it, right? But hearing what Hector just said about, their finances last year, I thought they were killing it, right? But seeing their Instagram posts, seeing like their videos, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I talked to Hector and he'd be like, I don't own a camera. I just rent everything. And I'm like, thinking of my photography business head, I need this camera, I need this 24-70, 70-200, the 15-35, and I need this mic. I need all this stuff. But in reality, Hector was like, I don't need equipment. I just need purpose, right? And he was driven by that purpose just to create good content for his customers and clients, right? Which then translated to me like, dude, I'm going to sell all my gear. To this day, I don't even own a camera, right? I have 2 lenses. I have 2 lenses and no camera, but I'm able to rent these cameras, use cameras from friends, and then give them business as well, right? So it's not about owning everything to start something. You don't need all this funding and all this equipment to start your own business. You just need purpose and drive. And trust me, you'll figure it out.
That is so good, dude. You really don't have any cameras?
No, I don't own any. I don't own any.
No, I want to encourage y'all, even if you're not in the content creation world, if you're a coder, if you are a hairstylist, I didn't have all of the assets and the connections that I have now. That took time. And I think a lot of young people our age listen to a lot of Gary Vee. They listen to David Goggins, and they feel ashamed that they're not good enough, and they aren't at the level that they'd like to be, like the people that they watch online. They worked they didn't get famous till they were like 40. Nothing happened till they were like 50, 40, 35. I have really enjoyed not making it and releasing control of trying to make it work. I know so many people in my field of being a freelancer that they are making cold calls all day. They're getting terrible gigs. And to me, they're wasting a lot of time. But in reality, when you're trying to make something happen all the time, there's a little bit of white knuckling and you're controlling it versus, at least this is what I did. This might be horrible advice for you. I got really good at what I did. I was open-handed with everything, and I never burned bridges with the people that I wanted to work with in the future. So when I was ready and I showcased my work online, I've never paid for marketing. All the money, the biggest paying clients I've ever gotten was through relationships and word of mouth. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but I would highly suggest, if you feel like you're wasting a lot of time making phone calls, sending out emails, taking on these horrible gigs, get better at your craft and release a little bit of control. And this sounds so lame. You do have to trust the process, because if you're ready and you're undeniable in what you do, it's going to come.
Yeah. And people ask me like, oh, how much you spend on like digital marketing, paid ads? None. Honestly, like, what do you like? I want your take on this. I do a lot of free work to establish connections rather than pay for digital ads to then get connections I don't really know about. So if it's a client I really want to work with and they don't have a budget, but I really do like their business, and a lot of people get this wrong way. They think, I'll give you a free video just to a random business. That doesn't help you. You have to find a business that you really do enjoy and you really not only like support, but you're there for them as well. For example, one of my clients, Hop and Sting Brewery, right? They had never hired me for a video, but I would always show up with my camera, give them like talk to all the employees. They were super cool, amazing beer. The Miracle Wheat on tap is the best beer you'll ever have in your life. Trust me, go try it out. And I would just slide them, here's free 5 photos, here's free 10 photos. I made this cute little reel. Take it, just take it, right? And it took 9 months, right? And I'm not saying that I was doing that all 9 months, but it was just establishing good relationships, sharing their stories on my social media, posting them. And now they hired me for a gig and they paid up all the money all up front. Right. And that's where it's at, of just not necessarily doing free work just to like having like an end goal, like I'm going to get paid one day, but doing free work for a client you really do care about that maybe doesn't have the budget for you right now, but in time they will have work for you.
Okay. Let me tell you one of my favorite stories that is still active right now and something that I was a part of recently. In regards to doing free work, don't whore yourself out to where people are taking advantage of you and they're abusing your gift and they're abusing all of your assets and what you've paid hard-earned money for. But what I would say is, if you feel led to help somebody because you believe in it and you would like to work with them, absolutely you should have a conversation, build a relationship, and start that process of working with them, even if you're not getting paid. For example, about 3 months ago, around 3 months ago, no, this story is way deeper. Last November, I felt the need to message my friend on TikTok, and he was blowing up on TikTok, but I started seeing the decline of him being proactive and making a lot of content. So he went viral, and then he didn't know how to steward that, and he would post less and less, and it was like he got there, and then it started getting a little whack because he wasn't consistent with posting. So I felt the need, like, let me message him, not to take advantage of him, but to genuinely, in my heart, I just feel like I'm supposed to help this person.
Right, yeah.
I message him. I help him start his podcast. No money. I'm losing money at this point, but I know that I'm supposed to do this for whatever reason. We interview somebody as a guest. His name was Tim Ross. This guy's amazing. And it was a magical day. We do a big podcast. We shoot it, edit it, make a promo, and the podcast is up the next day. This is where I got strategic, because it doesn't mean like I'm just giving out free stuff because I'm super nice. I'm still going to be strategic, and I'm going to help my business. So that was the strategy part. We were able to deliver, and for Tim Ross and my friend JB, that was two of the biggest promos that have ever happened to them on Instagram. So they got a little taste of virality, and they were like, okay, what's the source? This little Mexican.
Let's do it.
And this other ginger guy named Sam who helped me do it.
Samsung.
But I would have never been in that room if I had never felt led to help my friend. And then a week later, I get an email from Tim's assistant, and they want to meet with us. And then we lay out a few different options and lanes, and it led to the biggest contract ever. And because I love the guy, I'm like, hey, Tim, I can like shoot it for like $300, or I can cover everything for a 3-month contract for $16,000. What do you think? Without a doubt, it was the $16,000 that covers me for 3 months. And then he sowed a seed out of his pocket. This is where it's vice versa for the client. He sowed a seed out of his personal finances. His friend at Tome, it's a discipleship app, calls him and says, hey, I want to reimburse you that $16,000 that you just gave those kids, and I want to cover cost of production for the next 2 years. So Tim, because he was willing to sow out of his own money that he worked very hard for, got reimbursed, and my bills are paid for 2 years straight. And now the podcast is one of the most successful projects I've ever been a part of. So yes, I highly endorse and encourage you. If you feel like you're supposed to help somebody for free, do it. And it might lead to something really dope.
Bro, that's awesome. That's incredible, dude. Yeah, man. Do it for free, but don't make sure it's for a purpose, and don't get taken advantage of. That's awesome. Damn, blown away. Cut.
I love y'all. We'll do this again next time.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks for being part of the ride. Another episode out soon.